Hello everybody, I'm Melissa and welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to a Trope Tuesday video. Probably not gonna do one every week, but every couple weeks I'll probably do a Trope Tuesday where I do fun tropes, recommend books for different tropes. This week I am actually going to be doing like animal companions. I know people talk about animal companions and like fantasies a lot, and they're not talked about in like romance books, but I feel like a lot of romance books have like an animal that is, you know, a pet in it that plays a big role in the book, or plays a role and is like cute and fun and adds a little bit to the story. With Shadows of You coming out this week, I know that there's like an animal sanctuary going on in that, so that is one that is on my TBR for animals. But yeah, I have 10 books and 1/2 I just talked about on my TBR that I know have animals in them that I want to read. So the first book that I know has animals in it and it's so fun is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. There's a baby goat in this and it is adorable. There's also a dog. Daniel has that. They're Daniel's pets. This is Daniel and Alexis. It is a older woman, younger man, small town. Like, she's a doctor, a big city doctor. He lives in a small town and is he owns a bed and breakfast, and it's just adorable. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's fantastic. I absolutely adored this. She feels like she fits in his world, but he doesn't really fit in hers, and she doesn't necessarily fit in her world either. So she goes to him all the time, and it's beautiful. I loved this book so much. Abby Jimenez, I think yours truly also had a three-legged dog. So she's like, and I think a couple of her other covers have animals on them. So I think she's an author that puts animals in her books a lot. There are a couple authors that like do that in most of their books. There's an animal that plays a role in it. But yes, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. The Stay a Spell series, Don't Hex and Drive. This one has a dog that is like an escape artist. He does not, you could put a fence up, he is going to get away out of it. There's a zombie cat. I think there's even a chicken. I could be wrong. But the Stay a Spell series follows the Savoy sisters. The first book is Wolf Gone Wild. The second book is Don't Hex and Drive. They are all interconnected standalones, but I would read them in order. This is the second book. They're all adorable and fun. There's witches. The Savoy sisters are all witches. And then there's werewolves, vampires. This is a vampire book. The first book's a wolf. And these magical creatures called Grimms. That is book 4. Book 4 and 6 are Grimm. 1 and 3 are are werewolves, and 2 and 5 are witches or vampires. So I think I said that right. These have fun animals in them. The animals are all in throughout the whole series. But zombie cat, and this one definitely I know has a dog. I don't remember if it's Isadora that has the dog or if it's Devraj, but one of them has a dog that is an escape artist, and it comes into play in like future books too. So yes. Then we have Second Down Darling by Alex Martin. This is the 4th book in the Varsity Dads book series. These could all be read as standalones. You do see like characters throughout, but like really you could read them as standalones. This is Charlie is the heroine, and she has a dog and a cat. The cat is kind of evil and something happens, and Jake has to save Charlie, and he saves her and the dog, but he doesn't save the cat. But the cat ends up being okay in the end. So do you know that? Like, nothing bad happens to the cat. But something happens, and Charlie's really concerned about the cat, but she ends up finding him. I don't remember if she ends up finding the cat later on, and it is adorable. And she finds the cat when she needs to find the cat. Like, it's like a moment when she needs that. So then another super fun and Binding and Keeping 13. Keeping 13, the dogs play more of a role when the Lynch siblings come to Johnny's house, and like they're at Johnny's house, and the dogs like follow the Lynch children around. In the first book, when Shannon first goes to Johnny's house, his mom, so Johnny has like a dog that's his, and then his mom has 2 dogs, and the 2 dogs like attack Shannon, like just slobber all over her, giving her all sorts of kisses. She's living for it, but they like knock her down, so it causes her to have to go shower in his house. It's adorable. So the dogs do play a big role in this duet. They're adorable. Love the dogs. The Lynch children all say they want a pet, but their dad's crazy, so not gonna happen. Johnny's dogs play a role. I'm sure I don't know I haven't read Saving 6 or Redeeming 6, but in Keeping 7, I think is what it's called. No, not Keeping 7. Taming 7. Gibbsy and Claire
they have a cat so Gibbsy has a cat, and his cat is nuts, and it impregnates Claire's cat, so they become cat pair. Like, they it's adorable. In this book they talk, or I don't know if it's this one or I think it's this one, they talk about it, but I'm excited to see that dynamic in Taming 7, because I'm sure that will play a role. So then we have Crescent City. Syrinx, the Chimera, is basically Bryce's emotional support animal. I love him so much. What he does, like, at the beginning, like with Hunt early on, it's hilarious. Bryce doesn't realize that the Chimera is like not, like, he's not spelled by the magic, like in her wards in her place, and he can like escape, and it's just adorable. So another one that has a great animal, and it has a great animal in it, animal companion. This is a fantasy. Animal companions do play a role, I think, in a lot of fantasies, but this one I love. Syrinx, Siri, I think is what Lahaba calls him. Yeah, it's just adorable. The adorable Chimera. Like, I can just, like, there's like fan art of Bryce walking him, and it's just adorable. Love it. Then there is Get Thee Off My Lawn by Daria Vernon. This is a historical novella with a swan problem. And the heroine, April, she has a swan, Gerald, and he keeps going into the neighbor's pond. But Gerald, like, thinks that it's his pond, and so it causes a whole thing between April and Leopold, and it's adorable, and it's fun when it's not just a dog or a cat. Like, and obviously, like, it's a swan. It's adorable. It's fun. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's cute. And the swan plays a big role. Like, if you read the synopsis, there's like a part that's told from like Gerald's perspective, and it's adorable. But yeah, there's a reason Gerald goes to the neighbor's house all of the time, and you'll find out why if you read the book. It was great. Then there is Gothic Grove by J.A. George. I read this as an ARC in September, and the heroine, Estrella, has some snakes, and you'll find out about the snakes. Like, they're not gonna say, I don't want to say much about but the snakes are kind of her pets, but it is magical, so the snakes can also just live on her, like, they like become tattoos. It's fun. It's a good time. I really enjoyed it. Go check it out. It came out in October, but that had different, again, not just a normal like cat or dog. It has snakes. It's always fun. Like I said, it's always fun when there's like different pets thrown in. Then going back to just a regular old cat or dog, The Duchess Deal by Tessa. Can't think of what the cat's name is, but basically Emma shows up at the Duke of Ashbury's house in a wedding dress, demanding payment for this dress, because the Duke was supposed to marry a girl, and she like ended up deciding she didn't want to marry him. And so the Duke's like, well, hey, I need a wife, you need money, why don't we get married? Literally just to produce an heir. Well, she says, well, I need to bring my cat. She didn't have a cat. She found a cat, like a stray cat. The cat attacks the Duke. It's adorable. The cat is hilarious. I can't think, I wish I could remember the cat's name, but the cat the cat was hilarious. So yes, good historical romance with a cat. Also Beauty and the Beast retelling. Have to step back. One of my favorite historicals of all time. Like, one of like the first ones that I read that I just absolutely fell in love with. So it will always hold like a special place in my heart. But yeah, Tessa is another author that I think puts a lot of animals in her books. Like, in her books a lot of the time. Like, if I remember correctly, I think in When a Scot Tells a Knot, there was like a weird animal, like a turtle or something. One of the books on my TBR, you can hear about later, has animals. I think Romancing the Duke has an animal, has a pet of some sort. So another author like Abby Jimenez that just puts animals in her books. Pets. Then another author that puts a lot of pets in her books, Cowles. Whispers of You, the first book in the Lost and Found. That is what it is called. Lost and Found series. Ren has a dog, and the dog is very, like, he's always by her. The dog plays a big role. I think something scary happens to the dog, but the dog ends up being okay. Like, if I remember. the dog gets attacked, kind of, but he ends up being okay, which is good. Like, Catherine Cowles loves animals, and so she's not gonna actually hurt the animal, but, like, the animal is a bit, like, things do happen. So yeah, another pet in the romance book. I think Ren is, like, trying to, like, in this, so this is Ren and Holt. It's a second chance romance. They were together when they were in high school, and then something happened to Ren in the beginning of the book, and Holt left for 10 years, and he's been gone for 10 years, and now he's back, and he's still madly in love with Ren, Cricket, and yeah, they just keep getting drawn back into each other, and she's trying to, like, push him away, but the dog, like, loves him, and obviously if a pet loves a person, they're never going to be able to stay away for too long, obviously. So yes. And then the last one on my list is another weird animal, Daring Pursuit by Kay Bateman. This is the second book in the Ruthless Rivals series. It's basically, like, feuding families that aren't really, like, it was, like, the old generations feuded, and now, like, the young generations are just, they're friends, but they pretend like they don't like each other. But there's a bear in this. Karis has a menagerie, and one of the main characters, one of the main animals in that menagerie is a bear. So it was adorable. This is Tristan and Karis. It's the second book in the series. You could read them as standalones, but it is fun. I like it. It's fun to just read them in order, but this one does have a bear in it. That is, like, an animal. And then my 2 books on my TBR, obviously, Shadows of You and Animal Sanctuary plays a big role in that, and then the other one is The Wallflower Ranger by Tessa. I'm pretty sure that Penelope has a menagerie. I know a 2-legged dog, a foul-mouthed parrot, a goat, an otter, a hedgehog, and some kittens all exist in this book. So yeah, I am excited to read this one. I love when there are pets in books, and not just, like, the like, passing glance of a pet, like, because there are lots where a pet doesn't play a big role, but in these, like, I feel like the pet is part of the story. The pet has interaction, like, multiple interactions throughout the book. The pet is important in these. But yeah, what are some of your favorite animals in, like, books with animals in them? And if you made it to the end of this video, leave me an animal. Dog, cat, bear, whatever. Doesn't have snake. Like I said, any animal. Just leave me an animal emoji. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out. And I'll talk to y'all in the next one.